Welcome in, everyone. Power Hour Flow and Charts. If you're new to this, we look at option flow, market tide, Periscope, kind of whatever, talk about the market, chart stuff out. If you're returning, you know the deal. Feel free to drop contracts in the chat if you would like me to take a peek at something here. Um, yeah, we'll just kind of take a peek through the feed so far today. It's been kind of just not a lot of super good looking flow today. Obviously coming off the weekend. This is all we'll kind of talk about it. Obviously there's a ongoing conflict overseas right now, and we had a big gap down in the market, and most of that all recovered today. I still would be very cautious with that going on, but just kind of that flow today. I mean, for the most part, I mean, it's just been kind of smaller sizes, not a ton of flow or maybe fully confident flow coming in here, and I mean a lot of that flow just not super good. Those AMD the only calls that actually looked super good were actually those AMDs that were in the risky flow there, but other than that, I mean anything right now with the geopolitical tensions high will be considered risky there. Um, yeah, let's see the FCX 68 call. Yeah, let's take a peek at that here. Yeah, I am approaching the week very lightly just with everything going on there. So the FCXs here, these are in the money now. So 1700 contracts, definitely an opener. Let's see our feed here. 36, so we had a couple contracts before that. So yeah, IV kind of drops when it comes in, but IV's staying up there. Spot is filling the ask. That's not a horrible ask. 10-cent spread on something that big there. Were these in the money when that started to come in? 67.80? No. Okay. Let's see, 56 at 38. Yeah, staying up here. I mean, it's all filling up the ask. Looks pretty good there. Yeah, IV doesn't. Yeah, IV doesn't drop at all on that. Yeah, just kind of one of those ones. I mean, it obviously BTO probably. I just kind of don't like that IV drop a little bit when it comes in there, but more so, I mean, I would would have leaned BTO on those at the time. FCX 11 days out, pretty much right at the money. Do we have anything else coming in on that name here? Let's see. Yeah, and I mean at the time too. I mean net call premium's up there too. 68. Yeah, good piece of flow there, Bean. Good piece of flow there. Okay, let's see what else we got coming in. I am, and that's the thing too. I am still seeing. I mean, puts coming in here, but just you don't get a clean read with everything going on there. And I mean, this one you're not gonna be able to get a good. Actually, oh, that's 95% multi-leg there. Let's take a peek. What we got here? It's limited loss, limited gain. So yeah, they're just kind of expecting some chop here more. So it looks like nothing super interesting there. Let me clean this up. Let's look at the market tide a little bit here too. Yeah, we can look at those here. Yeah, market tide too right now. Very bullish. Nvidia and SPY are your major contributors to that. I'm seeing a lot of positive volume. Puts bid side. Yeah, just I mean very clear, and I mean that started out right at the gate too. I mean that's just been climbing all day there. So I mean, market is officially, I believe, yeah, everything's green on the day now. That's absolute no bears in sight. And then let's just look at Periscope quick. I haven't had a lot of time to look at that today, but yeah, just sitting up here at that positive gamma now, that 6,900 and 6,905 ish here. I believe we were positioned higher for most of the day. I just want to kind of come back to open here. Yeah, you can see a lot of that positioning kind of coming up here earlier in the day. Big flip from that negative to positive gamma there. And you just see all that positive gamma positioning up here, and price just tends to act like a magnet, and price followed right on up, and we are just chopping up there now. And you just see how that gamma kind of starts decreasing as well too here. Big purple, so big increase in here. So I mean that should also, give a little confirmation here that market might want to continue to go higher when you're seeing those big positive gamma bars come up there. And I mean put premiums didn't even really spike at all on the day. Just kind of following this up here, and you just see that positioning staying up here. Market's just slowly kind of moving up towards it. And then we'll just get to the end here to where we are now. I mean, we're just sitting right up here right now. I mean, look like we're kind of taking a little breather right now. All right, let's take a peek at, we'll do RKT and then RKLB. So we'll do Rocket Lab first. Actually, I want to do it from this. So Rocket Lab, but I'm seeing here obviously a lot of put premium coming in. Call premiums are now bid side here. A lot of negative volume. How's this kind of look? Oops, not 30 days. I want to do 14. I mean, yeah, kind of your biggest premium day here since the 23rd there. I mean, other than that, just kind of chopping there, but a lot of net call premium dumping here, so that could have been a good sign there as well. Let's see. Are you looking short or long there, Lilu? Let's see what we got here. Long on both. Okay. Yeah, let's see. Let's see. Yeah, we could take a peek at the chart too for you. Let's just pop it in there, and then RKLB. Okay, RKLB didn't save. 1 second. Why is it? Oh, okay. Whatever. I guess it wants to do that. Whatever. Okay. Let's see what we can find here for you. So I'm just going to kind of leave these filters pretty much open. I want to get the high multi-leg off though. So, flow-wise here, just doing a face value check here quick right now. At 319, a lot of that's very long-term flow up here. I mean, that 618 is probably your closest here, and you've got a lot of open interest on this one already too. Yeah, a whole bunch of nothing on that one. Let me see if I can find something a little better here. Man, there really is not. Oh, geez. So, okay, my volume greater than open interest. Yeah, I mean, for potentially opening trades, and this is, I mean, there's not much on that one. Puts, yeah, I'm not seeing much at all there. I mean, your puts in the money though. That came in early. And then the 39 day outs bid side. Let's see how these look here. So I don't have any context to look at on these. I might assume that they're short puts here. I mean, just based off the very limited data that we have, I don't have anything before or after to really look at. But that coming in at the bid there, potentially short put there. How far are these out of the money? Again, 11% out of the money. Just with how far they are out of the money. But again, anything can happen. I almost want to say these are short puts, just not a super good clean read on that one. But yeah, that's kind of all I really have for opening flow on RKT. I'd like to see if I can find a contract though that might be somewhat interesting in here because I'm not seeing much. It's just kind of that. Let's see. Yeah, see, I mean, you're just not getting a good read. I don't think there's anything for RKT right now. I will look at the chart here for you, though, see if we can find something on that chart. Yeah, I know it's been up lately as well too. All right, might be able to get a good read on the chart here for you though. So daily, let's just kind of get a good trend line going in here. It's gonna not be the best looking trend line here. Well, we start the weekly. We'll do weekly and work our way in. So I am going to get this as close to good as possible. I'm going to actually kind of extend that maybe a little bit here. That way our trend line would kind of coincide with that 200-day moving average there a little bit. You just don't get that because that first trend line, you can see how I was cutting off a lot of those candles. The goal with the trend lines is to hit as much of the bottom of the candles as possible without getting as much of that on the outside of that. So I'm going to kind of do a little further out trend line just like that. And kind of looking at, and we'll move to the daily here after. I'm just kind of trying to see if we're in a little zone here. Now let's check the daily. I mean, here at least you get a little better looking chart here. It's still not the cleanest looking chart. I wish that trend line, I mean, could always come up here and draw that trend line too, but I like getting longer on that. Are you talking about kind of over here more so? I'd say this is more of a double top here, that September of 24 and that Monday of September 25 would be more of a double top. This would have actually technically kind of broken that double top, and that would have broken it by about $2. So I mean that's a 20% difference there in price. It almost looks like a little kind of cup and handle here. Let me pop this back to the weekly. I mean, when you kind of look at it here, let's see. Where's my free draw? Free draw, where are you? I mean, you kind of have your cup here. You got your handle, and that's going to be a really ugly looking handle with that trend line there already. But you kind of got your handle here, and then you're breaking out of that handle. So, I mean, you kind of have a little cup and handle there. Again, just because the pattern's on the chart doesn't mean it's going to work out. It's a lot goes into that, but I mean, even kind of looking here, it almost looks like a little mini cup and handle. I mean, I'm just kind of looking at that history that it has been doing. I mean, you get that little kind of bowl there, little gap up, kind of there's your handle, gap up again. We're coming down here. You get that kind of up. I mean, you got your little pop there. Yeah, I'm looking at this one. It's not the best setup, but just kind of looking at the weekly, I would say you are entering a demand zone as well too. Just kind of looking at the history, popped out of that there. Little quick pop there, fail, tested, popped, came back in, dropped, almost came up, tested, and we fell, and then just kind of started following that trend line up, pop, pop. So recently, three of the last four times have favored a bounce out of the spot with the bounce there, fail there, bounce, bounce, potential bounce. We'll see. So I mean, I don't want to draw that trend line too tight there because I'm starting to take off too many candles. I mean, you could almost even just draw it along that 150-day moving average there. I like that. I mean, if I was gonna be a little more lenient on there, I'd like following that 150-day up that way. So then at least you have that line that's kind of trending up there as well. Then secondary would be that 200-day there. But I mean, if you were looking for a really good discount, I would kind of target this 1650-ish area. Does this sound good for everybody else in here? Uh-oh. Let's see. Okay. All right. Well, I got my tech support in here, so he's saying it's working good. Um, yeah. So I would, if you were looking for an entry here, I would maybe wait till, God, if you could get to that low 16 here, where you're at that 150 day and that trend line. I would potentially look for a spot there. I mean, just with the recent history here, bouncing out of that zone could be a good little potential move there. All right, so let's see if I can find something for RKLB for you there. No, you're good. I just with the way the sound is on here, it wouldn't surprise me at all that it's junky. All right, so Rocket Lab, we're getting a lot of volume greater than open interest here, I'm sure. Oops. So, okay, too messy on this one. I'm guessing whatever's in here probably got out. Let's check this one, the 79 call. This one looks to still be in. Let's look at our flow. So okay, that's our first one on the feed, 98.88. IV staying there. Yeah, I don't see anything that tells me that this wouldn't be a buy here on this one. So that 320.79 call could have some interest, no multi-leg there. That 71 call gonna be a lot of volume on that one. How about that 80 call? A lot of volume on that one. This 80 call, yeah, a lot on that one. Yeah, there's just a lot of volume on. It looks like the rest of these are kind of smaller premium here too. Just kind of doing a quick look. How about that 81? That's the one we looked at. Okay, so the best flow I'm seeing out of these ones, at least for this, would be that 79 call, because that looks like it's still in. I do want to check. See if I can find something else maybe interesting in here. Okay, we look good there. So, okay, that 75 is the really messy one there. That's an interesting one that we... Oh, wait, no, this might be a different one here. Let's see. So, 14 or 1,000 contracts. We do have some open interest. I just want to see how it looks. Yeah, you just see how you have all these other big candles with it. You just don't know what's going on. All right, let's see. I'm trying to find you a good way. We found one decent one so far. One decent one. Which was that guy again. All right, I'm going to stick with my thought here and just I'm gonna assume this 79 call is probably the best looking one we're gonna find. So that flow looks good there. I do want to just look at our 14-day. So we did have a big spike in that net call premium back here on the 24th. We did spike. It looks like that pretty much closed. We do have a big kind of drop here in call premium from Friday. Let's see what else we got. Just looking at our gamma. Yeah, gamma level's kind of low. Let's see how our chart looks with it. Because they have earnings coming up in what? Oh, May. Okay, for some reason I thought they had earnings coming up here, but I'm looking at where we are right now. It looks like I already had something drawn out here, and it looks like we are in a demand zone on an uptrend here. So I want to pop this out to the daily. So I'm looking at this one. This one, I think this is one that I actually charted out over the weekend. But sitting in this channel here, nice clean uptrend here, we are sitting. So I would have this as your supply zone here. So I like this spot from a technical standpoint. We're sitting on that 100-day moving average. Actually, we bounced on it. It's the bottom of the little channel. You're on your uptrend. We've bounced out of this spot. So we've bounced. We got a small bounce. 1, 2, 3, 4 times for the last 5 times, and that being your fail there. Yeah, this one, I like this chart a lot better than RKT. This one, though, I mean, if you're looking to open something long on this one, I mean, RSI is pretty neutral here, nothing major sticking out. I mean, you're sitting between that 20-day and that 150-day here, and it bounced off that 150-day. So, I mean, if I was going to trade this one, obviously some time on the contracts would be nice with everything going on. My risk would be that 150-day. Or if you really wanted, you could also take this as a momentum entry. It's a slower mover a little bit. So if you broke that 200-day, which looks like it's right at the top of that demand zone there, I mean, momentum to the upside here could be a possible good move on that one, knowing that it's kind of at least popped a little bit out of that zone. And I do like how it did kind of break that 20-day back here. Yeah, I like this chart a lot better than the RKT one. A lot better than that one. Yeah, I mean, like, you just look at that rocket chart, and now if we could get a cleaner uptrend there, I'd say I like it a little. I'd like it a little more, but tough one there. Tough one there. Nvidia, I swung my calls from Friday. That thing, I mean, that thing was almost a pinpoint there. I almost was gonna have these on until Saturday. I had a couple good flowing charts plays set up, but then Saturday just kind of threw a wrench in everything. So that kind of sucked. But this one, I mean, nice little uptrend there. We're kind of just chopping in this area. Came down. I bounced right there. I mean, that's really choppy right now too. Yeah, Nvidia, wild move. Wild move. That earnings report was just phenomenal and just tanks. Earnings and stocks don't always go together. It's can have the best earnings report ever and the stock falls. Nvidia is your example. All right, let's see what's coming in here. What are these VIK 30 or 32026? Is this Viking? I was gonna say Viking Therapeutics or something. No. Okay, let's see. 5% out of the money. Okay, earnings flow. It's flow 59.62, 59.05. So I mean, I would read these as short puts here, but with it being earnings, who knows? Let's just kind of look at the historical earnings moves there, and it looks like, I mean, it's favored a downside move there. Let's see. So that was your, everything has been a downside move except for the last earnings, which kind of leveled that out. Kind of looking at that post earnings move here. Yeah, I mean, you had the one day where it was green, so I mean that kind of evens that out. Again, not a fan of earnings or trying to swing that, but I mean I almost would say I like seeing these as potential short puts there. I mean 13 seconds later, highly likely they're related there. Yeah, just kind of, again, earnings, not, you don't know what's going to kind of go on. And it is funny because that is the biggest spike in net put premium, and it's funny too to kind of look at that historical move because you had that spike back here and we rallied up. So could be short puts again, possibly. We don't know. We don't know. How about these C puts? 320.106. Call premium was pretty flat. Volume, good positive volume. Bid, or puts our bid side premium 4% out of the money. Oh, I am tired for a Monday today. I am just, it is a dragging day. So Ivy drops when that comes in. For the 42.18. 42.18 filling at the bid. 42.18. So Ivy's dropping here. Spot price is still at the ask. But I would like to say that these are possibly short puts here, just kind of with that IV drop here at the end. How far are these out of the money? 4%. Yeah, I mean, obviously with the geopolitical stuff going on, anything can happen, but just face value looking at that flow, I would like to say they're short puts. Let's see what else we got coming in. FCX, we got some puts on this coming in now. 5% out of the money, put premium tailing up a little bit, call premium dropping, call volume drop, or positive volume dropping. Let's just take a peek. So our first trade on the day, 54.20. Spot is filling at the ask. Looks good, looks good, looks good. Yeah, I mean, you don't really have a ton of context with this. I mean, this is your first trade of the day on here. You got size 10, volume 10. That's kind of all you got here, and nothing really after. Is that seriously the only flow that's been traded on this? 786? Yeah. This is the only contracts actually traded on that. So you don't really have a ton of context. I mean, buy to open, possibly. I don't see anything on here that would tell me otherwise, that they're short puts. 5% out of the money. Again, with everything going on a 5% day, either direction is not out of the question. CCL puts here. So we, who had, RC LH had earnings today. 7% here. Oof. Just getting hit. A lot of put premium there. Call premium bid side. A lot of negative volume increasing throughout the day. The 6% out of the money here. So let's see what we can find in here. I don't like chasing something when it's already 7% down and you're 6% out of the money, but let's just see what we can find. So Ivy does spike when it comes in. Now that spot isn't filling right at the ask there, but I see that spot increasing here, so you are getting that repeated hit ascending fill here. So 59.05, 59.66, Ivy's coming up. Spot is filling at the ask. 59.05, little drop. Again, one contract. Not a huge issue. Ivy comes back up, and you have that little increase here towards the end a little bit, and then it looks like a little bit tailed over here. The way it ends here with that Ivy kind of dropping makes me kind of want to say they're potentially short puts there. This one, I'm just kind of seeing what else we got coming in here. Any other similar timings? Don't see any other really similar timing, so I would for sure say that 141103 is part of that there, and the way that IV drops at the end almost makes me want to think they're potential short puts there. Again, do you want to chase something that's already down 7% on the day? Just kind of obviously a macro view on this too. Airlines have had to cancel a lot of flights. Cruises can get impacted, especially if they're in that area. I don't go on cruises. I'm boring, so I'm not the best to kind of tell you where they travel to and from, but I know if there's certain areas that are in a conflict area, they're probably not going to want to go through that area. So this could be like a good, more, I'd say a risky flow one there where, okay, well, geopolitical tensions and everything are lining up nicely with the puts, but you're chasing something that's already down 7% on the day. All right, let's see what else we got coming in here. Anything new up here? What? Oh, I was like, what is that? Okay, SPY put was at 1403. These already came in. Yeah, it's just not a lot of size coming in. So I mean, you're not seeing that confidence coming in. CVX oil. This one. 2700. This almost looks like a possible ad. I would want to double check that open interest tomorrow, but let's look at our first candle. And oil, I typically will stay away from at the beginning of the day, especially on a huge gap day, like something like today. All right, let's come down here and see. So IV spikes when that original flow came in, and now again. Oh wait, where is our original flow? I'm looking at this one. I need to look at this one. Okay. So you can see how that flow started coming in here. So it's a repeated hits descending fill. So comes in here. IV's at that 35. IV's dropping here. Spot drops a little bit. Let's just kind of follow this up. IV's kind of dropping here towards the end. Dropping here towards the end. These look like short calls possibly here. And that could make some sense. How far? 4% out of the money. Again, another one where if tensions increase or there's another attack, these can absolutely skyrocket. So, I mean, it's that risk to reward there is a lot of that oil stocks are impacted by that. So, I mean, it's very risky, especially when there's a major conflict going on. I want to see the second part here. Because, I mean, they could come out and say, okay, we're going to sign a deal, and then oil's going to absolutely tank. Or they could come out and say, we're going to keep attacking, and oil's going to shoot up. So, I mean, it's a coin flip almost, and, like, I hate to be that person that's saying, oh, well, calls or puts if here. Well, that's the truth in the oil right now. It's so highly dependent on what and who makes a decision on stuff. But just kind of looking at this, so IV spikes when this comes in, 3217. Spots filling the ask. So again, you see how that IV kind of decreases here at the end. I almost want to say these are short calls. Maybe they added to their short call position there. Yeah, this would be one to kind of keep a good eye on here. Just see what goes on, because that could be a good example there of the them shorting at the ask. But yeah, oil right now, I would be hands off. Just with everything going on, it can change super quick, super quick. All right, I heard some dings. Anything new coming in here? Oh, let's clean that up. Nothing good there. Yeah, nothing super good there. We got a little drop in that market there. Of course, right when we started the live stream, we get the little drop there. And you can see, I want to pop this back too, actually. So you could see when we were talking about that, we were at the positive gamma level. We had a lot of negative gamma above, and we were just kind of chopping there. We didn't really see any other positioning as when we were kind of looking at it earlier there. There's your rejection, and I wish we would have been looking at this live, but that's okay because I can just kind of show you. So again, that negative gamma, you want to see that price accelerate through that. So you're seeing those big candles. I mean, just stair stepping down in the more of that negative gamma is sticking out there, the faster that acceleration can be. And I mean, you can just see that huge drop in those candles there. Let's just kind of click through it a little bit. And then you see that positive gamma decreasing there. So those positions are pretty much getting unwound there. Let's see what we're at now. It's a little late in the day to be looking at 0 days. Let's just do tomorrow's and just see. So that could be a spread up here. Oh, let's see. So they're short calls, short puts, long call. Yeah, that looks like it's a spread up here. So usually those spreads will kind of be the top or bottom as well too. Okay, let's take this off. Yeah, I wish we would have caught that drop there. Do we have a 1 minute now? This is new. This wasn't on there before. Oh, the 15-minute candle. Okay. Interesting. That's new. I think they just added that in over the weekend. Cool. I'll have to mess with it a little bit after hours. Alright, let's see what else we got. NVIDIA 313, 167.5 put here. Spot doesn't look like it's the best. We have some decent size. We'll have to see if we can track something out of this. Down here. 1435, so it looks like it. Oh, we got a lot before. Oh, it's all coming. Stop hitting the tape. I'm trying to read the tape. Alright, we're going to do it this way. They must be slamming those. Alright, let's come down here. Alright, so it looks like it started kind of coming in around that 1431.23. So let's just kind of start here and work our way up. So IV spikes when it comes in. Spot is filling the bid again. Let's just kind of keep following it up. So you see that IV drop here. Spot drops. So now the way I'm looking at this right away, at least from this section here, is they're potentially short those puts because you have that IV dropping and that spot dropping. Well, let's continue following this up. So it comes back to a mid fill here, and that spot price kind of increases. So 54.32. We turn into ask side flow. IV pops. That spot is now at that 169. IV's still up. Now that IV starting to increase here. Spot staying there. IV really increases when we get the repeated hits. Spot is just kind of bouncing all over 169, 168. Let's see this page now. This one I'll probably say it's a little too messy. Come on. I hate when you try to flip between pages and it kind of gets stuck. Okay. So that 54, 54, spots filling at the 169. So then you're seeing that IV increase here again. Again, we don't know if it's the same whale, but I mean, just looking at that timing, use your logical thinking skills. Somebody has been hammering this the same second, the same minute for the last 15 minutes or so. I would lean that it's probably the same person. Again, unless you're that trader, you won't know. But I mean, very logical, highly educated guess. I would like to say it's the same person. So now we have that IV drop. Spot is at that 173. Again, that timing. That timing kind of just says it all. Now you might have like that one little contract in here that's kind of a one-off. But again, it looks like most of this is all related here. And now your IV's back up at that bid. Spot is filling at the bid, but that IV's up. Now you have some more ask side come in here, and that IV increases, and you see it kind of drop here again towards the end. Yeah, it's 5407. We got a lot here. 5407, 5410. Yeah, there's just almost too much going on in that feed there to get a clean, honest read on that one. I almost would like to say they're probably short puts there. 8% out of the money, 11 days to go. Nvidia's been really beaten up the last two sessions prior to today. Um, I if you made me pick, I would probably say they're short those puts, but you just don't get a super clean read on something like that. And that's what most of that flow has been like today. I mean, another good example was we actually had massive hit on that 4-2 Nvidia 200 call come in that you're just getting so much volume after, and it's a high multi-leg already. It's just not worth it right now to force yourself into a trade, especially with everything going on. And when you look at this as well, pop this down here. This one, when this started coming in, I mean, your IV technically from that 42.69 is dropping when it's coming in here. So that, again, that 30-second one, very logical guess, highly educated, strong high school education estimated guess here. Ask a high school kid, they'll probably tell you it's good. This is probably the same person. Good size, good premium, that similar timing. I mean, it's a 30-second difference from 27 seconds there. 28, sorry, before somebody corrects me. And that IV is just kind of all over the place. It's dropping throughout here, and then it drops, and then it's the big size. You're filling up the ask still. Then you have bid side come in. The bid side's dropping here. Then it spikes again, then it drops. Spot fills at that bid. And just, I mean, you can see that IV coming back up again here. Spot continues to fill at the bid, and then you got a little more flow about 10 seconds later with the IV spikes, and then you have more flow come in after. Well, when the big 3,000 contracts come in, that IV drops. So, I mean, it's just that flows all over, and you just don't get a super clean read on that. Now, if you were asking me, now again, if it's life or death and you're making me pick, I would lean their BTO with everything going on right now and Nvidia's last couple days with it getting absolutely beaten up and just kind of knowing the how their earnings report went. I mean, I would probably lean their BTO, but again, now you're having some other volume coming here. You have another 20,000 there. Now you got 8,000 there. You're getting up there where you have to kind of almost check that open interest tomorrow. But this one, I mean, and I mean the risk to reward 3, and they came up and touched 335. That's only 10%. I mean, is it worth that right now to gain a quick 10% on something that's very messy? Somebody might say yes, but I mean personally, no, I'm not a fan. I need something good where I'm kind of, I don't want to say not scared to get something, but where I have more confidence in the flow. And it's probably, I mean, today would have been almost a good day to not even kind of trade. Obviously, I know if you got calls that open, you're very happy, but just to let the market kind of settle in and let the dust settle from the over the weekend and all that, just kind of see what the market does, see how it kind of takes it. I mean, it's you don't have to trade every single day. That's one of the big things. All right, do we got anything else really kind of coming in? Yeah, just call premiums up. Yeah, Nvidia and SPY. So out of that 90 or 178 million, you have 66 coming from SPY and then 60 there. So you got 120 million of that premium kind of going towards SPY there. So I mean, they're your major contributors here, and then GLD. But yeah, I mean it's one of those days to be kind of cautious because there's always tomorrow to trade. Does anybody have any other flow or anything they want me to check at? It looks like we're kind of caught up in the chat. I'm gonna grab a drink here quick too. All right, let's see. Nvidia, yeah, okay, we looked at those. A lot of Oracle puts are coming in, and they have earnings this week. I mean, high multi-leg, not really, not really worth it, in my opinion. Especially with earnings this week, you could get kind of choppy too. Let's see, what else? What else? What else? Yeah, not much for the bid sides. Yeah, and yeah, just not. And it might be like this for the week, just with everything going on. If you're a large whale and you're a smart trader, you're probably not putting on heavy size, knowing what's going on right now. So again, it might just be a kind of little choppier, slow day to start the month. We got some more Nvidia puts coming in here. Look at that. Ooh, they're really kind of slamming those now. So 45.22 to 45. So I would make a good assumption most of this is going to probably carry over. Yeah, and I mean, just kind of looking at this too, I mean, now it makes me not think they're potentially short puts just the way it's coming in here now. But again, just kind of one of those coin flip things where you look at this, that IV increases here, then it drops again towards the end. Just kind of that coin flip flow there. Oh boy, yeah, I mean, you just see the way they're slapping that ask on here. I mean, almost at this point, I'm kind of discounting that IV because I mean, they're continuously slapping that ask. I'd make a strong bet that these are buy to open. I mean, you're probably not loading up that heavy on short side puts like that. You're probably just opening up one big basket. Now, again, that doesn't mean that these aren't short puts, but now just kind of the way how, and it was kind of a good example to be sitting on here. I mean, we originally looked at the one candle there. Now you start getting some ask side getting added to that, and then you just see how it's adding. So I mean, this last candle, 5,300 contracts. This is for sure at least. I just want to go back here before I say anything. Just kind of previously looking at those previous days. Yeah, the 4,700. I wonder if maybe this whale is related to this one, and now you just have a big add here. I just want to look at that previous kind of open interest here. So you got 1,100 and half carried over. So a lot of contracts changing hands here the last 2 days. You had a big chunk from Friday carry over here. I want to look at Friday's flow one more time. So it looks like possibly this whale taking off some profits in here, and then it looks like maybe taking some profits off here at open. Yeah, I want to say that most of this volume is going to probably carry over, but again, just one of those where you want to double check that open interest there. And that feed was a little murky on that one, but I would highly like to believe that they're BT open on those ones. Getting some good examples here, and I'm happy. I'd rather get some good examples of like what not to look for in flow. I mean, because everybody kind of by now knows what I'm looking for, like with the textbook flow, but these kind of like little one-offs here, really good examples, really good examples. Like let's look at these TSMs here. 10% out of the money. Again, you have put and call premium up. Are we dumping right now? No. I just want to see what we're doing. I wonder if they're... I'm waiting for them to take off some size going into close. I mean, you never know what can happen overnight. That's the thing, especially with the high geopolitical risks. Anything can happen, and and that's one thing too. Cash is a position. You don't have to always be in a trade, and a lot of people want to be in a trade, which is 100% understandable. But again, do you want to risk all that money, all that hard-earned money that you've accumulated, built in your portfolio just because you need to be in a trade? No, you don't have to. But these, let's see, so 400 there, 800 there, so 1200 there, plus about 1100 there, we'll say. Yeah, I just want to kind of double check something like that, kind of a higher multi-leg already for me. Not the best looking clean setup. Again, 90% of the flow that you look at is going to be junk. Chorus calls. How about these 500 contracts? Yeah, you just... Oh, we got earnings after hours today. Hey, we can look at this. Why not? Big spike in put premium. Call premium dropping off. A lot of negative volume. Let's see, 135.13. Nothing really sticking out on that. How have we looked? So I do like that big spike in net call premium from Friday there, and theory would be you want to see that price kind of magnet up towards that. And I mean, you have some other unfilled net call premium gaps as well. Let's look at the earnings move. So it has a positive earnings move, about 2.02%. Too big of an implied move to kind of do a weekly on something like this. I mean, almost 15.5% there. So I mean, we've had only two implied move hits, a downside and an upside. So you don't really have that super good context. But just looking at those prior moves, they're favoring the upside. I mean, you've had two negative earnings moves. So I mean, that's something that could be very interesting there. And it looks like they actually really beat earnings per share last time, so that's probably why that drop happened there. Just it's so odd sometimes. I mean, earnings can just be absolutely perfect, and the stock tanks. Let's just kind of... I'm looking at that prior move. I mean, that post move on cores, I mean, not the last quarter there, has favored upside, so that's something to kind of be aware of. I mean, history tends to repeat itself. Now, again, that's not saying that this will. I mean, they're 1% out of the money. Kind of a bigger multi-leg on those. All right, what else do we got coming in here? One more quick look at the tide here. So, okay, we're back at the 0 day. So we had a lot of positive gamma build here, and of course, when we're not looking at it, always wants to do something. But we are accelerating through that negative gamma here. So we'll finish off the day. We'll just kind of watch Periscope here. So again, I'm not scalping something with 5 minutes left in the day, but if this was earlier in the day, again, that 68.75 is where I'd be looking for essentially support there for market makers to buy into that dip there. And I mean, it's very heavy positive gamma there, and we're bouncing off that. Again, here's your negative gamma, and you can see that purple bar that's telling you that flip from positive to negative. And that orange again, or sorry, the orange is the one telling you that it flipped from positive to negative. Purple is just telling you that that negative expanded significantly in that last 10 minutes. So now if I'm trading this, I'm trying to bounce it off this little positive gamma, and I would be targeting that 6,900 to that 6,905 out of that positive gamma. So let's just kind of see what we finish there. And still solid net call premium up. Put premiums are dropping. I would like to see if we can get up to that 6,900. We got 4 minutes left. We'll come back and check it here. Again, that last 4 minutes, so a lot can go on in there. So I'm not scalping in there. A lot of gold calls coming in here too. 18 days out, 493. Hey, Poppy. These coming in right. Buzzer beaters coming in right here. What do you got? What are you chewing on? Nothing? No. Okay. You just came to say hi. Alright, let's see. So Ivy spikes when these come in. Ivy spikes. It's saying it's a descending fill, so one contract. It's a 13, yeah. I'd like to say these are probably BTO there. I don't see gold slowing down right now. Alright, just want to see where we are. So we're accelerating, Let's just kind of, I'll keep it on here for the last couple minutes. Probably not going to have much flow anyways. But you can just see how that price is kind of starting to pop through that negative gamma. And that's what you want to see with the negative gamma, is that price accelerate through it. I think of it, it's like a jet. That's your jet fuel. The negative gamma is your fuel. So you had a lot of fuel off that first level. You might see us accelerate through it. I'll try to think of some good analogies for everybody. Come on, let's see if we can get up there. Let's see if we can get up there towards close. Just chopping now. Yeah. How's that one? Well, if you look at... Oops, I don't want to go 2 days out. What am I doing? I mean, you can see that's where that spread was up here. So, I mean, that was proving to be some resistance up there. Alright, 0 day here. Just looking for this to accelerate here. Within a minute. We got about a minute to go. The dog's just sitting down here just staring at me. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I'm trying to buy you toys. I'm trying to buy you toys and food, sir. Yeah. Yeah. You stay there. I'll try to take a picture. Moves. He knew he saw me grab that phone. Alright. Yeah, we're just kind of... Yeah, see, I mean, with that minute left in the day, it's just kind of almost not worth it. But you could see how it was starting to kind of accelerate through that zone, and then we're kind of having that drop off now too. Okay, looks like we're probably out of gas for the day. But all right, I think that'll do it. A good little live session today. So if yeah, we'll have another one of these tomorrow, and expect more volatility. It's gonna be a volatile week and everything, so just be prepared. But all right, everybody, thanks for hanging out, and I will catch everybody tomorrow.